Scott here, and we got a very big week of horse racing on tap. At Belmont at the Big A, we got the Grade 1 Woodward, and we got the Champagne Stakes, which is the prep race for the 2023 Kentucky Derby. Santa Anita has the Santa Anita Sprint Championship, the Osp Again Stakes, I believe it's called. There's three or four big races on that card. And then Churchill has two big races on its own, and we're going to take a look at one of them today, and that's going to be the Lukas Classic. And, that race kind of stiff because it features Rich Strike running the race, and a lot of people know Rich Strike from winning the Kentucky Derby, so we're going to talk about that. And I've been as hard on Rich Strike as anybody since his Kentucky Derby win, but in this particular race right here, I'm actually kind of intrigued by him. And we'll go ahead and flip on over to the past performance, and we'll cut over and go straight to Rich Strike. And that's probably the horse that's going to pique everybody's interest whenever he runs. And he's got 10 starts, 2 wins, and three third place finishes. But look at his record at Churchill; it's 2 for 2. So everywhere else he goes, he hasn't won, but at Churchill, he's undefeated. So that kind of piques my interest a little bit. And I just wonder, this horse is getting back to racing at Churchill. Could the odds pay, 10, 15 to 1? Could he spring off the upset? And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, Rich Strike is a guaranteed winner, of the race, but I certainly believe that there's a chance that he could, end up winning. I will not be the least bit surprised. So I'm actually going to take a stab at Rich Strike here. I am. As hard as I've been on him in the Belmont and the Trevors, and now he's racing back at Church. So I think I'm going to take a stab at him. And, the field actually drew fairly decent. It's only a 6-horse field. King Fairy comes from Kenny McPeak. He's not really too great of a horse. He can show up, in the superfecta, here and there. But his last win came last year at Churchill Downs. So I don't know if I can go with him, but you got Art Collector, who won the Charlestown Classic and the Aladar Stakes at Saratoga, which is a restricted stakes race. So the horse certainly is in good form right now. I think this will be a little bit better competition than what he faced in the Charlestown Classic, because that drew kind of a weak field compared to years past. So I'm gonna be inclined to take a stab against Art Collector, even though if Art Collector can run to his best race, he could certainly put away this field easily. Uh, the other horse that probably intrigues me if Rich Strike doesn't win, I think Happy Saber's your probably most likely winner. I think top question for Happy Saber here to try to find an easier spot for him to get him that, win. It's been a while since this horse crossed the winner's circle. You're talking, May of last year at, Belmont. So it's been a minute. But this horse has not been, really in bad form. He's been racing behind some of the, best in the game. Like he raced in the Clark last year at Churchill. He got caught behind Maxfield, who Maxfield was a Churchill type horse, always won there. And then he caught, Olympiad in very good form in the Ali Sheba. And, actually was in first at one point, starting to turn for home. And then Olympiad, of course, passed him and took over. And then in the Met Mile, he was caught chasing second behind Flightline. And, if you've seen Flightline run a Pacific Classic, Flightline is in his own league right now. And then in the Whitney, it looked like Turner for Home was going to pass by Life is Good. I remember because in that race, I had a Life is Good over Olympiad Exacta just straight, and Olympiad kind of messed that up for me. But I thought Life is Good was in danger turning for home, and he managed to win the race. So I think maybe Happy Saber might want to go a little bit shorter, even though his pedigree certainly screams distance. So I don't know, but Happy Saber's certainly been running with the best of the best, and I think now this could be Happy Saber's time to strike in this race. And yeah, we also got Hot Rod Charlie, from Doug O'Neill, and I don't think Hot Rod Charlie is quite as good this year. At least I don't feel like he's really taking that step forward to command the older horse division. Last year he's one of the top 3-year-olds, and I just think he's got to take a little step forward, especially to beat Happy Saber. He had his chance in the Whitney and couldn't get it done. And in the Salvatore Mile, he lost to Mind Control. That was his first race since Dubai. That coming out of that, so I think that I don't think Mind Control is probably nothing more than maybe a miler. A grade 2, grade 3 miler. He's not really going to be the top of the division, but certainly Hot Rod Charlie had an excuse in that race, and in the Whitney, there was really no excuse. And Happy Saber just ran the better race of the two, so I'll probably be more inclined to go with Happy Saber on this one. And to round out the field, you got Chess Chief. And Chess Chief is 0 for 12 at Churchill, so he's probably going to stay off my tickets. But, for my picks for the race, I'm going to take a stab at Rich Strike, especially at double-digit odds. I think a lot of the money will, drift away from him because of the two performances, in the Belmont and in the Trevors. Even though Trevors was kind of sneakily good, I didn't think he's even going to run in the top four, but he did. And I'm going to go with, Happy Saber. And I think Art Collector will probably wind up taking his fair share of money. It'd be tough to say between Art Collector and Happy Saber who goes off as the favorite. I'd probably say Art Collector because I think he just has that little more name recognition. He's coming in, off 2 straight wins. So I'd be willing to bet Art Collector is probably going to be your favorite. And then Happy Saber probably like 5-2. And then Rich Strike will be, if I had to guess, probably 10-1. I mean, there's a chance he could, be back at Churchill and people's thinking what I'm thinking and could be bet down to 5-1. In that case, I'll probably stay away from him. But if it's 10-15-1, he's certainly going to get a little bit of my money in this race. And then, of course, Hot Rod Charlie's going to take his share of money. But I'm going with Happy Saber and Rich Strike for this race, guys. Thanks for watching. Plenty more to come.